Hello everyone! Welcome to Naveen Tech Hub. In this tutorial, we are going to learn Amazon ElastiCache for Redis, from theory to practical implementation. We will first understand Redis and the cache-aside pattern. Next, we will create an ElastiCache cluster through the AWS console. Finally, we will connect it to a real three-tier application using React, Nginx, Node.js, Redis, and RDS MySQL. Let us begin. Redis is an open-source, in-memory data store. In-memory means the data is kept in RAM, allowing Redis to perform reads and writes extremely quickly. Amazon ElastiCache is the fully managed AWS service that runs Redis or Memcached for us. AWS handles much of the infrastructure work, including provisioning, maintenance, monitoring, and scaling. The diagram shows the cache-aside pattern. The Node.js application checks Redis first. When the data is present, we have a cache hit, and Redis returns it through the fast path. When the data is absent, the application reads it from Postgres or MySQL, and can then store a copy in Redis. Let us understand the main benefits. First, Redis provides very fast responses because the data is read from memory. Second, it reduces database load by serving frequently requested information from the cache. Third, it helps applications handle traffic spikes without immediately increasing the database capacity. Redis can also store user sessions and tokens that need to be shared across multiple backend servers. Finally, reducing repeated database reads may allow the application to use smaller and more cost-efficient database resources. Redis supports several practical use cases. It can be used as a centralized session store so that logged-in users remain consistent across multiple servers. For rate limiting, Redis can count how many API requests each user sends within a specific time window. Sorted sets make Redis suitable for real-time leaderboards. Redis publish and subscribe features can distribute events and notifications between services. The most common use case in this project is database query caching, where expensive query results are temporarily stored so repeated requests can skip the database. Now we begin the AWS setup. In this step, we select a node-based deployment and choose cluster cache. We keep cluster mode disabled. With cluster mode disabled, the design normally uses one primary node with optional replicas. This is easier to configure and understand for a beginner project. Cluster mode enabled is used when a larger dataset must be divided into multiple shards. For this tutorial, cluster mode disabled is sufficient. Here, we select the AWS cloud as the deployment location. We also review multi-AZ and automatic failover settings. Multi-AZ allows the primary node and replica to run in different availability zones. When the primary becomes unavailable, automatic failover can promote a replica. These options improve resilience, although they may add cost. They are especially important for production workloads where cache availability matters. In this step, we configure the cache settings. The selected Redis engine version is 7.1, and the default Redis port is 6379. We then select the node type and choose the number of replicas. The node type determines the available memory, processing capacity, and network performance. For a demonstration, a smaller node may be enough. In production, the node should be selected based on memory consumption, request volume, latency, and expected growth. Here we configure connectivity. The network type is IPv4, and an existing subnet group is selected. The subnet group identifies the VPC subnets where ElastiCache is allowed to create its nodes. Redis should generally run inside private subnets. The Node.js application must have private network access to the cluster, and the ElastiCache security group should allow port 6379 only from the application server security group. In this step, we control where the primary and replica nodes are placed. For better resilience, place the primary in one availability zone and the replica in another. This protects the application against the failure of a single availability zone. When automatic failover is enabled, AWS can promote the replica if the primary becomes unavailable. Now we configure maintenance and logging. The maintenance window defines when AWS may perform planned maintenance. Automatic minor version upgrades help keep the Redis engine updated with compatible releases. Logging can also be enabled. Slow logs help identify commands that are taking longer than expected, while engine logs provide useful operational details. These settings become important when troubleshooting a production cache. The Redis OSS cluster has now been created successfully. Confirm that its status becomes available. The next important detail is the cluster endpoint. This hostname is used by the Node.js application to connect to Redis. Because the endpoint is normally private, the application must run inside the same VPC or have secure private connectivity to it. The cache infrastructure is now ready for application integration. Now let us place ElastiCache inside a real project. The application is deployed using a 3-tier AWS architecture. Nginx serves the React frontend and acts as a reverse proxy. Node.js handles the API requests and application logic. Amazon ElastiCache provides Redis caching to improve performance and reduce database load. Amazon RDS MySQL stores the permanent application data. This project demonstrates how Redis works as one component inside a complete production-style application, rather than as an isolated service. Let us follow one request from beginning to end. The user accesses the application through a browser. The request reaches Nginx on the EC2 instance. Nginx serves the React frontend and forwards API calls to the Node.js backend. Node.js processes the request and checks Redis. For a cache hit, Redis immediately returns the data. For a cache miss, Node.js retrieves the information from RDS MySQL, stores a copy in Redis, and returns the result. The presentation tier is React. The application tier contains Nginx and Node.js, and the data tier contains Redis and RDS. Now let us examine the connection code. The IO Redis package is imported, and a Redis client is created using the ElastiCache endpoint and port 6379. The set command stores a key named greeting with the value hello Redis. The EX option sets an expiration time of 60 seconds. This is called time to live, or TTL. The get command reads the value and prints it. Finally, the Redis client is exported so that it can be reused by other modules. In a production application, the endpoint and port should be placed in environment variables rather than directly inside the code. This route implements the cache aside pattern. First, the product ID is used to create a Redis key. The application checks Redis using the get command. When cache data exists, it is parsed and immediately returned, with the source marked as cache. When the value is missing, the application fetches the product from RDS MySQL. It then converts the result into JSON and stores it in Redis with a TTL of 300 seconds, or 5 minutes. The current response is marked as coming from the database. The first request is therefore a cache miss, while repeated requests during the TTL period become cache hits. This chart compares response time with and without a Redis cache hit. The first request is a cache miss, so the application performs a database lookup. The illustrative response time shown here is approximately 180 milliseconds. After the value has been cached, repeated requests are returned from Redis in approximately 4 milliseconds. In this example, that is roughly 45 times faster. These values are provided only to explain the concept and are not a measured benchmark. Actual performance depends on the database query, payload size, application code, network path, AWS region, and cache node type. The important benefit is that caching improves repeated read latency while also reducing database workload. You did it! You have successfully built a cluster and a real 3-tier application integrating Nginx, React, Node.js, and Redis. If this video helped you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more beginner-friendly AWS and cloud tutorials.